Hello, I'm Dave Peach, and this is the Crawfordsville Peachcast, sponsored by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. See them in person or at tricountybank.net. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Crawfordsville Peachcast, happy 2025. I'm Dave Peach.
I'm Dave Meyer. Dave, so excited to be back.
A new year is here, 2024 in the rear view mirror, and now we look ahead to 2025. Is this significant because we're 25% done with whatever century we're in, the 22nd century, 21st century, 23rd
It must,
23rd
it
and a
must
half
be,
century?
Dave.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time for whatever reason. 2025 sounds significant. It sounds more. Now, 2020 sounded cool at the beginning of the year. And then that kind of, that didn't go well. So hopefully 2025 will be positive at this point. It's starting out sunny. So I'll give it that.
We want to thank our sponsors, Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. Also, our good friends at Zahn's Flooring and Design Center, BK Home Improvement, and CIR, Central Indiana Rubber. Power for you, 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Hello.
Todd. I'm going to try a story real quick with Todd. Okay.
I want to hear it, Dave.
Now, this is something that by the time this airs, hopefully Todd will have received this particular item.
Okay.
I'll tell it short.
Okay.
We did the NIT at Hinkle Fieldhouse in 2024.
Okay.
I got there a little late in the day, and they had already had a women's semifinal round the day before. So by the time I got there, the pickings were slim as far as the quarter zip for the NIT.
Okay. We understand.
I ended up with a woman's XL.
Not in the right ballpark just yet.
Okay.
But
So Todd, I know, is an Indiana State fan.
okay.
I'm not going to wear it again in 2025 because sometimes these things you wear. I wore the Horizon thing for like 4 years.
Right. Exactly.
It didn't have a year on it, and
Yeah.
you're expected to keep your
Right.
quarter zips
Whatever.
ready to
Yeah.
go if they're not emblazoned with a year on it.
Sure.
So it's been sitting in the drawer, and I figure, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and give it to Todd. He's an Indiana State fan. His wife's an Indiana State fan. And, I'm probably not going to wear it out for dinner in the next
Doesn't
month
sound
or so.
like it.
Yeah, and I'm just going to force the NIT to get me another quarter zip for 2025.
I truly don't think that's too much to ask.
No, I'm going to go ahead and make that move. So, Todd, hopefully by now you've got your women's XL 2024 NIT quarter zip, and you can say that it was worn by the dude doing the announcing during Indiana State's remarkable games in Indy. Unfortunately, they did not win the championship, but
Unfortunately.
hey, they were fine.
It's been authenticated.
Okay, so we got that story out of the way. Today's movie is She's Having a Baby, 1988. Kevin Bacon, Elizabeth McGovern. Dave, let's start out the most significant 3 movies starring Kevin Bacon.
Ooh, wow. Okay, significant. That's
okay. Let's say signature.
big.
His signature movies, like
Okay,
a
I got
band
you on
will have
that.
signature songs. Kevin Bacon's 3 signature movies.
I would say top of that list in my head, at least, is Footloose.
Agree.
Okay, so there's that. Now, I jump around. He wasn't a lead character, but he was an important character in this movie, which was a big film later, and that would be A Few Good Men. But after that, Dave, then I reach back because there's like so many other kind of Kevin Bacon films like that. So I don't. What would your third be, or what would your 3 be?
I have no idea because I could only come up with the 2 that you mentioned out of my head.
Well,
and I did not Google it.
I will give you. I'll give you two more.
Okay.
Easily, because
And
here's
I'll pick my third from your
Okay.
two.
Well, and these are to me. I think they were both fairly critically acclaimed. The first one is Apollo 13. He played Jack Swigert, who was the astronaut that was added at the last minute. It was the backup for Ken Mattingly, and he went on to. He was a congressman from Colorado. I think he went on. There's a statue of him in the Denver airport, Dave. Is what I can tell
That's
you.
why you know. Okay.
That's why I know.
Okay.
But I could also say the other one that, again, critically acclaimed Clint Eastwood film, Mystic River, which was kind of a hard topic, dark kind of movie, big cast, Sean Penn, Tim Robbins, Boston as the background kind of thing. Yeah. So he's been in a lot of stuff.
I'm sure he has, and for some reason I can only come up with like 4 of them.
It's okay.
I don't know why.
It's okay.
I can't.
The 6 degrees is less in your head. He's done. He's been on a lot of different stuff and maybe that's why there's somehow he's crossed a lot of paths. But yeah.
Well, we've also got Alec Baldwin, Elizabeth McGovern, William Wyndon, Paul Gleason, and many, many more. And the music, Stuart Copeland. We'll talk about it coming up next. She's having a baby, Untoasted, Crawfordsville Peachcast.
Bazing. Wow, that's fun to say. Bazing is Tri-County Bank's Smart Rewards checking account. With Bazing, you have cell phone protection, ID theft protection, roadside assistance, discounts at area businesses, and more. This is Bria French. Contact me or any of our great employees to begin your entry into Bazing banking. Terms and conditions may apply. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Crawfordsville Peachcast, it's John Hughes time. She's having a baby. We're not going to do Breakfast Club. We're not going to do 16 Candles or, all those other. Yeah. They've been done. Everybody talks about those.
Yes, absolutely.
And you can see the stars of those movies every Rich Eisen show because they're all on.
They're coming back to tell some stories.
A lot of people don't know, but Rich Eisen actually has all those people in a room just in case he needs one. Molly Ringwald, bring her out.
It is.
Bring her
now,
out.
Dave, this goes back to the Letterman. It's better to have Lou Rawls and need Lou Rawls than to need Lou Rawls and not have him.
Not that we're jealous of Rich Eisen.
We're a little bit.
No.
Okay, not at all.
No, we wish him all the best. But John Hughes, a bevy of movies. This one matched Kevin Bacon and Alec Baldwin as friends. Now, what's the age going on with Alec Baldwin in 1988?
See, that's I in my head, they're in the movie. They're both supposed to be in their early 20s. Yes. Right, or they're early mid to late 20s, maybe ish,
something like that.
It's funny. There's one little in that flashback sequence where they play Boston's "More Than a Feeling." I thought to myself, looking at they made him a little younger, but it was passable. It wasn't like bad CGI or bad makeup. It was believable. So, I will say this: Alec Baldwin was easily 100 pounds. From what in this movie, from maybe where he is today. And not that he doesn't carry it well. He was just skinny at that time. And he's not been skinny, at least since the first season of 30 Rock.
Kevin Bacon is Jake. Elizabeth McGovern is Kristen. Alec Baldwin is Dusty. What's his name?
Davis. Which
okay,
I think adds to the fact he's not to say that there's anything terrible about that name, Dave, but he plays him pretentiously, let's say.
William Wyndham, who may be a little bit old to be Kevin Bacon's dad, but I don't know.
He felt, in watching again, I think this is where I had different feelings from watching this a long time ago to watching it now. And that was one of them, like, oh God, he feels ancient now. He didn't. Like, we just gave. If he was in there, oh yeah, grandpa, old dad, whatever it was, we were going to buy into it. And some of the line, I mean, that's the thing about this thing. This movie itself has some great lines, and then it has some really kind of obvious clunky lines, you know? And he was part of that. But one of my favorite in one of the bad flashbacks was like I wrote it down. I think get your butt up a little, Jake.
What is
Do you remember that one, Dave?
I do remember it, but I don't remember what they were talking about when it was on.
It was a context.
I know what it is now. Yes, I know now.
Trying to have a baby.
Yes, I know that. He was coaching
so that was the
yeah,
just style form. But it it was other than that, it was he was bringing the bad news, right?
He wasn't actually doing that. It was a dream sequence.
It was a dream sequence.
Now let me ask you a question here.
Okay, Dave.
And I know you're ready to go and all this stuff, but dream sequences. They were, I guess, have they been in other John Hughes movies?
Okay, that's a great question. I feel like they were more around in this era and into maybe the early 90s. And then at some point somebody said, no more little people in dream sequences, no more dream sequences. We're gonna pause until somebody brings those back. Because I think it got out of hand. And then this movie is an example, Dave.
I for some reason I was thinking of the dream sequence in Happy Gilmore. That was a good one. Yeah,
exactly.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Well, and there are a few of them. It's almost like he's trying to advance the plot and be clever. I mean, I have a whole, Dave, if you want, I can give you my whole theory on this movie and my take on it, which has changed since watching it this last time.
Let's cut to the chase, David, and let's go to that take.
Let's go to that. Well, first of all,
that almost sounded like an edit. We did not edit that.
We did not edit that. We're messing with you people. So if you're still plugged in, segment 2, you're in for a treat. No, John Hughes, when I looked up, it's like I have in my head this thing that seems large. But when you look him up, Dave, how many movies do you think he directed in total?
Okay.
I'll say this. He wrote 30 that were produced. How many of those did he direct?
We lost Kreskin last year.
We did.
And he should have been in some of those 28-minute tributes to those people that we lost, but he didn't make any of them. And for that, I am greatly disturbed. But I am going to...
And that was wrong.
I'm going to do my Kreskin... Okay, you asked it in a way that I would think that there's more than what I would think.
Yeah, good Kreskin callback,
So
Dave.
I was going to go 87, but I'm going to go 121.
Okay, now this is the amount. How many movies in total? I'm saying he wrote 30, and you're saying he directed how many?
Okay, now you're saying I've gone way overboard on how many.
Oh, Dave.
Okay, he's not
Dave.
He's not one of those movie people. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go 87.
He directed 8 movies.
8?
As in 2 less than 10. 8.
8?
Yes, 8 in total. How about that? So it's not
8 movies?
That's all he directed. He wrote 30.
Not
now,
121, not 87. No. 8 movies.
8, as in 5 plus 3. Yes, Dave.
That is that's a career shorter than Gale Sayers, man.
Here's what happened. See, this is the whole thing. Okay, you're right. Think Gale Sayers, because it is Chicago. He directs 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, and Weird Science in a row. Okay, in the same time period.
Does Rich Eisen know this?
I don't think so, but if he's listening, Dave, this is the kind of stuff he's going to pick on. Okay. After that run of writing and directing all 3 of those, he writes Pretty in Pink and Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Some Kind of Wonderful. Okay?
Which we did on Untoasted.
Right, which brings us back to that. Okay, this is when he's pivoting. Okay? And I think in my head, my whole thing is this movie is the most personal for him. He is Kevin Bacon. Okay? So that's my theory, because he came out of all those kids movies, and he writes and directs Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which was not a kids movie. It had a lot of, it was marketed as it was a much more of a comedy than it really was, right? I mean, it was a funny movie, but it had a lot of, empathy and some sadness and a lot of adult buddy friendship, I guess. So out of that, I think all those movies made money, right? Every one of those, probably some
John
kind of
Hughes
wonderful.
always made money for his partners.
There we go, baby. You know it. So he comes out of that, and she's having a baby, and I think he wants to tell this story, but he's still so programmed into the gimmicks of the youth films that he's trying to cleverly bring them in with the flashbacks. And it doesn't work because it detracts, because this movie gets good in my mind. There's a lot of good lines and there's relatable stuff. And some of it relates back to how old I was when I first watched this, which was in my early 20s. Because I did not catch it at the theater. I caught it somewhere, when I've got a baby and it's, we're watching, what's this? Oh, it's a John Hughes movie I never saw. So, but I look at it now, and I look at, until they get to the part where she's pregnant, everything up to that is just kind of filler. That really, it doesn't, like, okay, how much of this stuff do I believe? This gal that he keeps running into, who obviously represents something, but it's not, she's in both his dreams, and somehow they meet at a museum. How did that work, Dave? And then she came in the bathroom where there's 8 urinals in a U shape. I've never seen in a bathroom that had 8 urinals in a U shape, Dave.
Not even at the Indy 500.
Not even at the 500. It was, a 185-foot trough, but nothing so coordinated as that. Dave, I feel like it's animal control day here at the
You've got a
beach
dog. I've got 2 cats. Maverick is making his way. If we were on visual, you'd be able to see Maverick. But we have fun with our animals. So it's kind of a grown-up John Hughes movie.
I think it's John Hughes really wanting to tell a grown-up tale and it is, he represents, he's not this guy that Bacon is, which is he ready to grow up? He is, his partner, his wife is somebody who's grounded, she's the moral center of the movie, and she never wavers, right? And he clearly, and this is where, Hughes knows himself as a writer. He's basically staying true to this. I don't even know what I have, or do I really know who I am, kind of thing. And so, and even at the end of this, where, oh my, it does, okay, they do have a baby, and the baby's going to be okay. You exhale, and that's the movie, except for this, the cameos from all the people
that I missed when I watched the movie, and Dave pointed that out to me. I don't know how I did that. Let's go to a little part of the movie, and this is a part of a lot of movies, and I want to ask you a question, kind of big picture. Was there ever, did people at some point wear sport coat and ties as they sat around a dinner table and ate?
Okay, I think this
is 1988. This is 1988,
yeah,
and they're still doing it. I understand the Leave It to Beaver thing where, we're wearing coat and ties. And I guess there was a time when people wore coat and ties to dances and things like that. But I never did wear a coat and tie to a family dinner.
I can't recall, and nor Dave. You and I, we got dinners at a few people's houses, and that never, the coat and tie requirement was never a part of the deal during this. So I think that's a leftover thing from his childhood that he's projecting along with the crazy in-laws and the irrational parents and all that stuff.
I haven't seen Hallmark movies lately, but do they do that still? They have dinners with, hey, on a Tuesday night, I got my coat and tie and I'm eating Meatloaf?
They may, because it's more, again, a more of a big deal. They're projecting not really what happens, but the romance of the possibility. Uh, so that's how that works. So they may do the coat and tie there, but no, that doesn't ring. I will say the two old grizzled ad agency guys, Dave. That probably is a part of that rings true today. They would be different, but that same all that questioning. You're writing this crap when I felt that in my formative years of trying to make a career and all that. So I related to this movie more when I didn't see it as flawed as a movie.
Well, we've got a friend in Alec Baldwin who is a friend, but not necessarily a friend. He they're talking before the marriage. He comes to visit and makes a pass at Elizabeth McGovern, and it didn't really. I mean, it's not like they poured cold water in his face or kicked him out or anything like that. But he kind of, I guess he was important to the plot in a certain extent. But for me, it never really connected. I don't know why, it just didn't really have an impact on me.
Well, that's where I'm thinking, like, this is a personal story. In some aspect of this, that guy represented whoever John Hughes's best friend was at the time, because like the first scene that you see him in, he says, you don't know it when they start talking, but then you realize they're sitting in this car and they both have tuxedos on. And he's getting married. And what his best friend tells him is, say the word and we're out of here. In other words, screw, whatever commitment you have made, and who, I don't care about these people as well. But, just basically he's a destroyer. He's a disruptor. And that whatever the fact that they were connected as friends of youth, he represented basically the potential of bad decisions in his life.
And of course, I'm going to pick apart the fact that they were having a full-blown argument in their house with a guest.
Baby. Yes.
And I'm telling you what, I don't know what house you live in, but if I'm having a full-blown argument with Annette in whatever room we would be in this house, everybody would hear it. I mean, but they're just going at it, and they can't hear us.
Well, and then when they cut to her at the end and she says, got some big lungs on her or something, whatever they are, kind of revealing. But I looked at that differently now too. Like when I was young and I watched that didn't ring to me as not true. This time I watched it, I go, there's no way she would have done that, because she wouldn't have given her the satisfaction of knowing that she was that upset. Is what I was thinking. So, especially for that character. So that's, again, me looking at it differently today. Also, as an adult, right? Like, not like you wouldn't, I wouldn't do that and then try to go to sleep. I'd be all upset.
Now, did the argument happen when Alec was in the house, Dusty?
Well, what happened
Davis?
was, the Alec brought a date home, and they were there in Chicago because the date's mother had died. And the date person was a model that did some specific work for music videos that she demonstrated there briefly. So she was not basically our female lead, our Elizabeth McGovern, who's known as Christy. Our Christy character did not, let's say, not only approve, didn't connect with whatever this person. So that was very evident to everyone. And then at the point that Alec Baldwin said, "Oh, we're staying downtown at the hotel," that's when, the Kevin Bacon character, Jake, says, "Oh, well, just stay here." And of course, without consulting Dave.
Ah, yes. Now it all comes back to me. Now we had Edie McClurg.
In a nice little cameo. She was Lynn. I can't recall. She was just a wife. She was basically the guy from Beverly Hills Cop, who is better known as, who is that guy, Dave? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I do, yeah.
John Ashton. John Ashton. She was married to John Ashton, I think.
Let's see. Yeah, we talked about 23, 21 to go in the movie, and she is finally pregnant with Jake's kid. We're a little worried that it could be Davis,
Right.
a.k.a. Dusty's kid. No, I know it's Davis. It's a little touch and go there, but they do become with child at that point, and a song, Apron Strings, which wasn't a big hit.
Was not a big hit, but it's a good song. It was by, okay, Dave, I'm going to have to look this up, but I should know this. Apron Strings is Everything But the Girl is the name of the group.
They had a hit. I can't remember what it would be.
They had a few covers. They did a cover of the Elvis Costello song Allison that may have got on a few playlists here and there. I don't even know if they're still together. I want to say European. They seemed it, even if they weren't.
I guess I'm getting them confused with the immortal band Missing Person.
Yeah, Missing Person, yes. I think of them. This had that two. Besides the title track, she's having a baby. It's got a good soundtrack, and the two big songs at the end are Apron Strings, and then you mentioned Kate Bush earlier, and that is
I'm running up that hill.
Yeah.
That's the only song I know by Kate Bush. She sold like 28 million records, and I knew one song.
Well, this is called This Woman's Work, and it's played doing kind of a crucial montage at the end. And if you're prone to emotional outbursts, you could weep at this moment.
I remember Kate Bush being very dramatic. What do you call someone who works their hands all, like moving around and like they're landing planes when they're doing a music video? What would you call that?
Well,
George Smith
could be there may be a diagnosis, Dave, but I think just dramatic is.
It's like dramatic. Like your arms are up in the air. It's like you're a Laker girl doing a choreographed song for the NBA Finals or something. I don't know, but
I think Kate Bush is
I love
dramatic.
Kate Bush, and I love all people that love Kate Bush.
Yes, we do. We're big fans. We stand as far away as she wants us.
Now, here's another thing that I had trouble with this movie. Okay. The inevitable "it's time" scene, which I'm great with the "it's time" scene.
Yeah.
I mean, I should say, maybe I'm not great with the "it's time" scene. I mean, we go through the what do they call it? Obligatory dad more upset than woman. Dad more upset than mom thing. And of course, and I was good with that. It's okay. Yeah. I get it. He's running around. He's nervous. Sure. It's first time, first kid and all that stuff. But then he forgets the mom.
Yeah. That's a little Dick Van Dyke-ish.
Yeah.
I
thought. And it didn't really work for me, but forgetting the mom was a little over the top. I would have left that out.
Yeah.
I remembered the mom. I remembered her. It was okay. I remembered her.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just, again, a little too much. Like, how much are we to invest in this story? Because it felt like almost now what would seem like episodic television moves in this movie, which don't ring true.
I agree totally. It was just, to me, it was, it was, we talked about this movie before. The characters don't land for me in the movie. Mm-hmm. They just don't land. Kevin Bacon looks out of place. The hair, the suits, something just didn't quite work for me. I love Kevin Bacon, and I would say that for this one, but I liked watching the movie. That's one thing that's kind of, it's always kind of. It's tough for me to say. The movie didn't land for me, but I appreciated watching the movie. I liked watching it, and I always try to learn from the movies that we watch, and some I would love to watch again. This one probably not, but to put it in the John Hughes catalog and to give it a watch, I would say go ahead and do it. And if you're a Kate Bush fan, by golly, this is for you.
Here's okay. Roger Ebert, Chicago, giving it, and this is how he ended his review. He says, "The last sequence in the movie where Bacon waits and worries while his wife undergoes difficult labor is the most effective. It is honest and strong and has genuine emotional strength. It suggests what a better movie this might have been if the whole story had been told in the same straightforward style, freed of Hughes' flourishes and gimmicks. The good parts of She's Having a Baby make the rest of it feel like a missed opportunity."
I will go with that. She's Having a Baby, 1988, from that magic era, those late 80s movies, which, if you were in one of those movies in the 80s, you're in Rich Eisen's green room. No doubt about it.
You're deciding if you're going to which color shirt.
And I love that. I love that thought that he's got about 10 of them ready to go, just in case.
Dave, Anthony Michael Hall, on any day, he's got John Stamos, Anthony Michael Hall, and at least one of the Coreys.
I just hope that in one day he goes, we'll get you tomorrow, McGinley. McGinley, you're on tomorrow, man. You're on tomorrow, man. We're going to do Happy Days. What's that? Married with Children and those 8 other shows you were on. We'll get you tomorrow, McGinley. Sorry.
Don't worry.
We had O'Leary here, and he had to leave.
He had to go. Did Donnie Most and Anson Williams coming together again?
Yeah.
Because that's too much, Dave.
She's Having a Baby, 1988. We've got mixed bag stuff coming up next on the Crawfordsville Peachcast. Central Indiana Rubber Products provides the power for you. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, keeps farm equipment and local manufacturing processes running with gaskets, belts, seals, and O-rings, among a variety of other products and services. Employee-owned and always customer-focused. Central Indiana Rubber Products, 989 West, 83 North, Crawfordsville, and at indianarubber.com. Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, power for you. Dave Peach here with Brandon Kappas from BK Home Improvement. And Brandon, you have an exciting announcement.
Yes, Dave, thank you. We are excited to announce Zahn's Floor Covering is now Zahn's Flooring and Design Center, acquired by BK Home Improvement.
I understand Bob Zahn will be staying to help.
We are excited to have that, and absolutely, Zahn's Flooring and Design Center is happy to have Bob Zahn still involved in that same local presence they're used to dealing with.
There has been a little confusion. BK Home Improvement is not affiliated with BK Painting or BK Property Management. You are located at your headquarters in Lebanon, Indiana.
Yes, we are excited to expand both brand names inside of both markets for Lebanon and Crawfordsville. Please come visit our showroom at 310 North Green Street, as we will consistently be redesigning and offering new, innovative products and technologies.
And you are still going to say,
Zahn's Flooring and Design Center. We are everywhere you walk.
Crawfordsville Peachcast. I'm Dave Peach. Dave Meyer is here as well. And, we're going to ease up on Rich Eisen a little bit. Rich has his own podcasting network, and by golly, probably wouldn't be a bad thing for us to be on that network. But we'll see how it works out. Maybe by calling him out on a few things, it could happen.
What do we have to do more? Do we have to get X involved, Dave, or can we let this float out there between our people and his people and see what happens?
Well, let's go to this mixed bag that I've got here. College bowl games.
Ta-da-ta-da. Yes.
Back in the 80s, when Rich Eisen was probably born, maybe the 70s, I don't know. Might be in the 70s. There were jokes on the Johnny Carson show about too many bowl games. And they talked about the tidy bowl or the toilet bowl or whatever that.
I do recall this.
So this has been going on for a long time. And I just watched a YouTube video of someone talking about that there's too many bowl games.
Okay.
And I'm thinking in my mind, if you feel there's no reason that you have to watch all the games. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave. I mean, that's a more respectful formula, I would say. We live in a world where there's enough aggregate numbers that enough people can figure out. You don't need a village always. You just need your part of it, and that's enough. And in this case, there's plenty.
Well, it'd be like me saying there's too many Bravo Housewives shows.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not watching them anyway.
No,
What does
you're
it matter
not.
to me? They could have 100 of them. I mean, I mean,
Exactly.
every once in a while, you one catches your eye or whatever, but it's okay. They can have
It
housewives of Cedarville, Iowa, or whatever. I mean, that's okay.
absolutely.
They can,
Look, if you saw what Comcast did when they're selling off the networks of all their cable nets,
yeah.
they carved out Bravo in its own little space because those shows, much like the Rich Eisen Network, are profitable.
Well, I mean, David, we just have to admit it.
Yes, Dave.
We live in a world where 7-5 Arkansas State plays in a bowl game. That's where we are now as a country.
And everybody is in on it, and it's okay. And we should not have too large of the issue because there's some folks in the southwest part of the country, I mean, southeast, I guess, Dave,
Yeah.
that made their holiday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they won.
Right. And they won. And they won, Dave.
If you don't like a dancing Pop-Tart, don't watch.
Don't watch.
Don't complain. It's okay.
Dave, those announcers were all in. I watched enough of the end of that game to, even if all that was scripted, Dave, they weren't prodding them, but they were bad puns were floating.
You know what? Another thing that was killing me over the holidays, people complaining about the college football playoff.
Yeah.
They have been complaining for years that we need a playoff. We need a playoff. We need a playoff. And then when we get one, I don't know if these are the right teams that should be in the playoffs. What are we thinking about? Well, you've got a playoff. It's the first year for the thing. And it's like you can't wait to get on the air at 6 a.m. and start ripping it. I mean,
Right.
IU deserved to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. And that got more. It's gotten, I think, solidified
SMU,
with
Boise State,
Alabama's
whoever, all
loss.
these teams. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I get, you had a playoff, you got what you wanted, and now all you do is gripe. I mean, come on, it's one of those things. I just wish people, but I guess they got to fill up 4 hours of talk, and to say that it was a wonderful experience wouldn't fill it up.
Okay, just the in particular, I think IU ended up taking a few hits based on the final score of the Notre Dame game. And I think what some people said the final score of the Ohio State game. And I think after basically Ohio State taking down Oregon, I think IU looks pretty good with Michigan beating Alabama, right, as well. Michigan was handled, at Michigan by IU. So I think IU, even though they were in that kind of superlative level, things came together. It was an alchemy of the right coach with the right portals, the right transfers, the right quarterback, how many injuries they didn't have with the schedule, right? So that they didn't make all those things up.
My thoughts on IU, and you mentioned the perfect storm of this year. Going forward, they can make the playoffs with 2 losses, depending on their schedule. I mean, we're going to see how IU does when they have to go to Wisconsin, when they have to go to Penn State, when they, those type of things. What's the other? Oregon. Yeah. I mean, when those teams factor in but then again, it's all strength of schedule. And if IU loses 2 games, they could go to the playoffs. No question about it. But to sit there and complain about it, I think is a little bit tough the first year when this is what you've been waiting for all your life.
Exactly. And it feels like the people that are complaining are more of the SEC based or the folks that think that college football, that is the Premier League. And this year, it appears that the Big Ten in particular is going to be, have one of the best shots of having the last team standing.
Let me ask you a question about college football this year. If you asked 100 people on the street, what conference is SMU in? How many of them would correctly say that it is in the ACC?
I would say, other than people in the ACC already who are not happy about it, or just accepting of it, nobody.
And how about I don't even know what is Boise State? Are they in the
Mountain West.
Are they in the no? They're in the Mountain West.
I believe.
Didn't they move to the Big 12?
Maybe they did move then. Okay, let me.
That one just got me. I didn't know where Boise had moved to. Are you going to check it out?
I'm trying to, Dave, but I'm not being aided by the
your
animal
dog is,
here.
I was watching. You ever watch while you're doing that? You ever watch Jimmy Dore?
Yes, he is funny, and
He's pretty funny. Now I was watching one of his videos, and it was rather amusing to be in Indiana when Jimmy looks at his co-host over there. Hey, have you ever heard about this WNBA player, the basketball player, Caitlin Clark? Caitlin Clark, is that her name? Caitlin Clark? Jimmy, come on, man.
Okay, Dave, a couple of things.
Come on, Jimmy. We know who Caitlin Clark is. I mean, who? I can't imagine. Can you imagine going in and starting a conversation here in Indiana, going up to somebody? Hey, have you ever heard of that WNBA basketball player, Caitlin Clark? Can you imagine going in to a
People
restaurant?
Would be like, "What is
what?
wrong with you?"
Huh?
Oh my god!
But Jimmy Dore got away with it.
Jimmy Dore, because it's a delivery. He has delivery.
I
and
guess
an accent.
maybe the fact that we're a basketball state and she played here in this state and everything
All
like that.
These
But
things.
she's Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, Jimmy. But some people just don't have the attention getting mechanisms that other people do. So give us the skinny on the conference of Boise
Dave,
State.
It's complicated, but not. Currently, they are in the Mountain West, as discussed. However, Dave,
and they parlayed that into a bye.
No, there's more to it.
Okay.
They're going. Yes, they did parlay that into bye, but they're going into the new Pac-12 along with Colorado State, San Diego State, and Fresno State, beginning in the 26-27 academic year.
Wow. I did not. I think I had heard that, but
I think I did too, but I had not put all that together.
I was thinking about Caitlin Clark, going back to her, and some WNBA people have said something about Caitlin Clark, whatever. But when you look at Caitlin Clark, let me just tell you my take on Caitlin Clark.
Yes,
she is the Hulk Hogan of women's basketball, of women's sports. I mean, when Hogan came out, and you've seen him live,
yes,
I believe, it was like another person that I put her up there with, and that's Bruce Springsteen. I mean, when they walk out, there's something to behold just by the fact they're walking out. And Hogan revolutionized wrestling. Springsteen, he was Bruce Springsteen. Michael Jordan, of course, Tiger Woods. A lot of people compare Caitlin to those two, but I'm going Hulk Hogan because it's somebody that draws people to pay money to walk into an arena.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure that before Hulk Hogan, I think that the wrestling was still in the Tyndall Armory and the Newcastle High School type venue. I don't know if it played at Market Square Arena before Hulk Hogan hit the scene. And similar to Caitlin Clark, she moved these women's games up to bigger arenas. And made it more, or just brought it into the mainstream. So Jimmy, I hope you know Caitlin Clark. I love Jimmy. Yeah.
Well, she is absolute. She's a phenomena. She is not something that comes along. What is happening with her the game that she is in has been rising steadily, but there's a confluence of events with the pandemic and people's viewing, basketball coming out of that and what we were watching and the media coverage. And basically, she is every bullseye that everybody put on her for her first year in the WNBA. She not only met, but she exceeded every goal, every expectation, every possibility set for her. So, and she didn't do all the things. She decided to not play in another league that that a lot of the big names in the WNBA are playing in. She She can set, and she could have changed the dynamics of how that league was viewed by herself.
You're talking about
And
some foreign league or something like that?
No,
Overseas?
there's locally and domestically there are leagues available, the 3-on-3s that are.
I got you.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
but she's setting her own course in a way that is going to be, again, I think she's aware of her stature and comfortable in carrying it. It's not a burden. She's a basketball fan, right? You know that. You see that.
Yeah, she hangs out at Butler games.
I mean, yeah. With basically a baseball hat and security people around her, but not. She's not snuggled up there in some place with the press. She's a few rows back and watching the game.
That is it's marvelous. But yes, we do know who Caitlin Clark is. And one more thought before we leave. And I ask young people this.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you this because you remember. Young people may not remember, or perhaps they, in some fashion, they are still participating. But do you remember when there used to be Christmas movie releases, and you would, during the holiday season, go to see 2 or 3 or 4 movies at a movie theater on your break? This was a big deal, and Mom and Dad would go to some, and I can't remember specific what are Christmas movie releases, but this was a big deal, and when did it go away? And don't say the pandemic, because I think it was before the pandemic.
No, it's been going away for a lot of reasons. With basically, the home theaters people set up when they first started with VHS that evolved into better with DVD, Blu-ray, et cetera. So more people were not going to the theaters. So that's the biggest reason why we didn't have those. But I do recall those times where you would go, especially in December, because it was like all the good movies were going to come out in a chunk of time, and you would just go and watch. Or even I remember going, it's like shopping, watching a movie and then shopping at a mall, and going back and then taking stuff back to a mall after Christmas and seeing a movie.
You're exactly right. It did tie into the malls.
Yeah.
The multi-cinema, they had eight movies playing at the mall.
Yes.
You could go to a movie while your parents were shopping, or go to the movie on your own. But I just remember that. I know that this year we had Wicked. Was that in theaters across the country?
That is, and still remains in theaters. It's a movie that I saw with my daughter over the break. I did see a few movies, and
so you did go to some Christmas movies.
Oh, I did. I saw 2. I saw Complete Unknown, Dave.
This year.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do. I can do 5 minutes on Wicked. I could do 10 minutes on A Complete Unknown.
Well, we might talk about a movie that was released, within 30 years at some point, but today will not be that day, Dave.
Not that day today, people.
But you have heard about Caitlin Clark.
I have heard about Caitlin Clark.
Okay, so check me on the movies, though.
She's taller than I thought she would be, Dave.
Check me on the movies, and
okay.
You're my safety valve here. It's not nearly as big a deal as it was back in the day, as far as Christmas movies.
Oh no, because they're not many. And some of the other part about it is some of the movies that are the big movies aren't really big movies. They're just more critically acclaimed movies that are going to get a release and have a good review, but they're also like art movies, right? I mean, they're like the movie that's coming out about the 72 Olympics that's got, somebody playing Rune Arledge. Okay, that's not going to draw, on the Taylor Swift crowd at all. So basically, even the movies that are the ones that are going to win awards, they're not going to make enough money for the promotion for us to know or even where do we see how much, because all that promotion is the stuff that makes us feel like I got to see that. That's cool. And how many movies have been that you've seen trailers for lately on let's say broadcast or cable.
Other than Wicked, I can't. And then then before that, it was Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I would say the two are.
I don't know where
the
Maverick Top Gun movie was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
that
definitely.
That was a big one. I don't know where that fits in.
No, I mean that was Tom Cruise saving the industry.
Well, Barbie and Tom Cruise and Wicked. You're the only, and Oppenheimer. You're my big four. I'm sorry. I'm showing
We've
how
been
out
there,
of touch I
done
am.
that. We're gonna do more, Dave. But this newfangled stuff, we don't need it.
Hey, it is the Crawfordsville Peach Cast, and a Happy New Year belatedly, depending on when you're listening to this. But again, David, always great to catch up with you. What's the next one on the list? I've got it. I know we did. She's having a baby. Oh, it's Talk Radio.
Talk radio. We're going to go dark, Dave. I love it.
Going dark, going when radio. It was, we did, our first movie was FM.
Yes. Also dark, but not this dark.
Yeah, kind of a fun movie. And then we go to the Talk Radio. And we'll talk about Talk Radio coming up with Eric
Bedrosian, I believe.
Bogosian?
I think
Steve
Bedrosian.
You're talking
Steve Bedrosian, Dave. I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah,
you got
Bruce Eggs Benedict.
Oh my gosh. Yes, Dave. Please keep me honest. I'm mixing my elderly baseball players with character actors these days.
Okay, it's next on Untoasted, and thanks for listening to the Crawfordsville Peachcast. We are sponsored by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892, by Zahn's Flooring and Design Center and BK Home Improvement, plus CIR, Central Indiana Rubber, power for you. 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Hello,
Todd. Thanks for listening to the Crawfordsville Peachcast, sponsored by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. I'm Dave Peach. Join us every Thursday for a new episode on Apple or Spotify. Please like, subscribe, and download the Crawfordsville Peachcast. This podcast was produced and edited by Up There Media and is a presentation of Fork Broadcasting Digital.